So the key thing with the scarf hold, we're gonna go scarf. Go scarf. Yeah. So we're gonna go scarf. When you set up on here, go and put your weight away. When you set up on here, a lot of the time you guys do random things with your posture. Some of you will take your head very far forwards. Yeah. And some of you will take your head back a little bit, and every kind of thing in between, right? And so rather than me trying to show you specific techniques and say, if he does this, do that, if he does that, do this, what I want you to think about is, I want you to think about the top of Luca's head points the direction out, and I need to get my hips, these bony bits, to point in the same direction as Luca's head. Okay, so Luca could move his head around in different positions here. Make sure you're pulling my arm up, Luca. Yeah. So he has his head over here, right? And you always have somebody say, oh, well, I can use a technique like I can push his head and swing the legs, right? And this may work. But I'm not interested in what may work and being in a fight. I'm interested in just the mechanics that are so simple that they work no matter what. So all I'm going to do here is, I know which direction do I need to go in.
Where his head's pointing.
Where his head's pointing, and what do I need to line up in order to get his head, with his head? What do I need to line up? My hip bones, yeah? So I'm going to bridge just to get him up, and then I'm going to do basically a sprawl or banana shape. As I go onto my side towards his head, I take my head and my hips backwards. And what you'll see is my hips are now perfectly aligned with the top of Luca's head, and that is what basically rolls him. If he moves his head forwards, I'm going to basically do all the same stuff to him. So if he starts bringing his head the top of his head down, so you now put your head up there, put your head down. Yeah, I want something different. Give me something different. Yeah. So now his head is here. So my hips are lined up quite nicely anyway. So here I'm just doing my bridge up. Yeah, I shorten the side so that my hips start to line towards his head. And over he goes. So I'm aligning my hip bones with whichever direction the top of his head chooses to go. So it doesn't even matter now if Luca messes up and I say I want his head really low, and Luca does that classic thing that a lot of you do, you're not really listening, you don't really care. So your head's back, and then the person on the bottom really struggles. Which way do I need to get my hips pointing? Yeah, and if he moves his head in a different position, yeah, where now? Top of his head. Yeah, imagine the top of his head points the way out. So I'm still going to do my bridge. I get my hips pointed that way. Head and heels together. Over he goes. Yeah, let's give it a go.